Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 1. We would like to present about heads and modifiers. I'm Ghaida Nursi as the first speaker, and Filza Faiqotuh Himmah as the second speaker, and the last speaker is Devita Uvi Anisa. Heads and modifiers. Modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that has the function to explain another word, while head is the word explained by the modifier. Modifier adalah sebuah kata, frasa, atau klausa yang berfungsi menjelaskan atau menerangkan kata lainnya. Sedangkan head adalah kata yang dijelaskan oleh modifier. Jadi modifier dan head saling berhubungan dan pada intinya modifier adalah penjelas, sedangkan head sendiri adalah yang dijelaskan. There are two kinds of modifier, pre-modifier and post-modifier. Pre-modifier is a modifier that coming before the head, while post-modifier is a modifier that coming after the head. Red flowers. Red is modifier, and then flowers is head. Watch movies. Watch is head, and movies is modifier. Red flowers is pre-modifier, and watch movies is post-modifier. I will give you some examples. Too slowly. Too is modifier, and slowly is the head. Very happy. Very is modifier, and then happy is the head. A head may have more than one modifier, and also may have no modifier. Head dapat mempunyai lebih dari satu modifier, dan bahkan tidak mempunyai modifier sekalipun. Every phrase contains a head and possibly one or more modifier. A phrase has no subject and predicate. Frasa tidak mempunyai sebuah subjek ataupun predikat. A phrase also cannot make a simple sentence. Frasa juga tidak dapat membuat sebuah kalimat sederhana. Bark loudly. Bark is head, loudly is modifier. The bark dog. The is modifier 1, bark is modifier 2, and dog is the head. Setiap frasa mengandung satu head dan kemungkinan juga mengandung satu atau lebih dari modifier. Bark loudly has one modifier, and the bark dog has two modifiers. Modifier dapat berupa determiner, adjective, adverb, noun, atau apapun kata yang merupakan selain dari head itu sendiri. Clause. Each clause has a head. The head of each clause is verb. Clause has subject and predicate. Jadi, klausa sendiri lebih besar daripada frasa. Klausa mempunyai subjek dan predikat. A clause also can make a simple sentence. Klausa sendiri dapat membuat sebuah kalimat yang sederhana. Setiap klausa mempunyai satu head. Head dari klausa tersebut merupakan verb. Hermione sings beautifully. Hermione is modifier 1. Sings is head. Beautifully is modifier 2. The president came early. The is modifier 1. President is modifier 2. Came is head and early is modifier 3. Heads, modifiers, and meaning. Head conveys a central piece of information, while modifier conveys extra information. Head membawa informasi pusat pada sebuah klausa, frasa, atau kalimat, sedangkan modifier membawa informasi tambahan pada head itu sendiri. Expensive book. The head books indicates the very large set of things that count as books. The modifier expensive indicates that the speaker is drawing attention not to the whole set of books, but to the subset of books that are expensive. Jadi kesimpulannya, head sendiri membawa informasi yang masih berupa informasi umum, sedangkan modifier sendiri membuat informasi tersebut menjadi lebih spesifik. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Filza. So today I'm going to present about complement and adjuncts and then clauses. For the first is adjunct. The definition of adjunct is an optional or structurally dispensable part of sentence, clause, or phrase that if removed or discarded will not otherwise affect the remainder of the sentence. Jadi ada tidaknya ajang itu tidak akan mempengaruhi arti inti dari kalimat tersebut. For example, is John helped Bill in Central Park on Sunday. John is the subject argument, helped is the predicate, Bill is the object argument, and in Central Park is the first adjunct, and then on Sunday is the second adjunct. Next, an adjunct can be a single word, a phrase, or a clause. For example, for a single word is she will leave tomorrow. So the adjunct is tomorrow, and then the second is phrase. She will leave in the morning. The adjunct is in the morning, and the clause she will leave after she has had breakfast. The adjunct is after she has had breakfast. Okay, the second is complement. A complement is a word, phrase, or clause that is necessary to complete the meaning of a given expression. Complements are often also arguments, expressions that help complete the sentence. The types of complements is first subject complements, that is follow linking verbs only and not action verbs. Subject complements can be a noun, an adjective, a single word, or a group of words that act like a noun or adjective. For example, Lee is weak. Lee is the subject, is the linking verb, and the adjective weak is the subject complement. And then the second is object complement. Object complement is an object is the adjective, noun, or pronoun that follows a direct object to rename the direct object or state what it has become. For example, the fourth makes John's position untenable. Here, John's position is the direct object of the verb make, and the adjective untenable is the object complement that completes the meaning. The adjective untenable tells us something about direct object or John's position. It cannot be removed because it explain the word untenable. Okay, the next is clauses. A clauses is a group of words that contains a subject and predicate and functioning as a member of a sentence. A clause is the small grammatical unit that contains minimally a subject and predicate that can or cannot express a complete thought or idea. There are two kinds of clauses. For the first is main clause or independent clause, and a subordinate clause or dependent clause. In a complex sentence, at least consists of one main clause and one subordinate clause. For example, he believed that the earth was round. He believed is independent clause, and that the earth was round is dependent clause. Okay, so the subordinate clause or dependent clause divided into three different types. For the first is noun clause. Noun clause, for example, I believe that everything happens for a reason. So this in this sentence, the noun clause is that everything happens for a reason. Jadi di noun clause itu bisa menggunakan connector that, if, or whether, and then The second is adjectival clause. Adjectival clause are called relative clause. For example, the beautiful lady who sits next to me is friendly. So in this sentence, the adjectival clause is who sits next to me. An adjective clause, also called relative clause, is a clause that modifies a noun. It describes or gives information about noun. So there are two basic types of adjective clauses that are non-restrictive and restrictive. We can use the connector who, whom, and then that, which, and etc. And then the next is adverbial clause. Adverbial clause. Adverbial clause function like an adverb in giving information about the reason, manner, time, place, concession, condition, or purpose of an action that occurred. And then the example of adverbial clause is before you go, bring me some water. And the other example, he ate as if he were starving for months. And then the third example is we need to eat so that we may live. Okay, that's all. Thank you. For the next explanation will be delivered by Devita Uvi Anisa. For Devita Uvi Anisa, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Devita Uvi Anisa. I will continue the presentation about head and modifiers. In subchapter dictionary entries and collocation. So what is collocation? Collocation is regularly fixed combination of verb and noun and involves head and complement. Jadi collocation adalah gabungan dari verb and noun yang mana dari gabungan tersebut terdiri dari head and complement, yaitu kata yang diterangkan dan kata yang menerangkan, seperti yang sudah dijelaskan pada presentasi awal. Sebenarnya jenis dari collocation tidak hanya verb and noun, but before that, in other definition, tell that collocation is a group of words that usually go together. Jadi, collocation adalah gabungan dari dua kata atau lebih yang membentuk suatu istilah. Sebenarnya tidak ada aturan khusus tentang collocation ini. Diucapkan hanya untuk terdengar lebih natural dan tidak kaku. For example, in English, we usually say heavy rain atau hujan lebat. It's correct grammatically to say strong rain or big rain, but both of these sounds completely same. Native speaker atau kita juga sering mengucapkan heavy rain daripada big rain, padahal artinya sama dan secara grammatically juga benar. Namun kata tersebut, big rain or strong rain, ini terdengar lebih strange, aneh dan awkward. There are several different combination of verb, noun, and adjective that come from collocation. Jadi ada beberapa macam dari collocation. Yang pertama, adverb plus adjective. Contohnya completely satisfied, completely benar-benar memuaskan, completely contoh from adverb, satisfied example from adjective. Second, adjective plus noun. The example is regular schedule, jadwal biasa. Schedule example from noun dan regular dari adjective. Lalu noun plus noun, a cup of tea, a cup and coffee. Lalu noun plus verb, bus departed, bus contoh dari noun, dan departed contoh dari verb. Lalu verb plus noun, commit to side is the example from noun dan commit example from verb. Lalu verb plus expression with preposition, example burst into tears. yang berarti menangis terisak-isak. And the last is verb plus adverb. Contohnya screaming loudly. The last verbs complement and the order of phrases. The relationship between head and modifiers are called dependencies or dependency relation. In this chapter, head have been described as controlling modifiers. Seperti yang sudah dijelaskan before, that modifiers are said to depend on or to be dependent on their heads. Head and their modifiers typically cluster together to form a phrase, certainly in formal written language. In clause, the verb and its complement tend to occur close together, with the agents pushed toward to outside of the clause, as shown by the example below. Verse A. Maisie drove her car from Morningside to late on Wednesday. B. On Wednesday, Maisie drove her car from Morningside to late. And C. Maisie drove her car on Wednesday from Morningside to late. In example A, the object her car bersebelahan dengan verb drove, lalu diikuti dengan directional phrases from Morningside to late, yang mana as discussed before that object and directional phrases is a complement. And B, it is closer to drove, but it is not important. And what is important is the fact that the adjunct does not come between the head and any of the complement. Example C is at least at work, although there might be contexts in which that order of phrases will be appropriate. That's all for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.